Hello everyone. In our previous session, we have covered one example that is related with the impulse turbine. Now in today's session, I would like to start one another turbine called reaction turbine. Okay. So in today's lecture, we are going to learn the velocity triangle as well as working principle of reaction turbine. Recall my previous session. In our previous session, we have classified the turbine, and during the classification of turbine, we have seen one category that is related with the operating principle. Okay, according to the principle of operation, the turbine is classified in two categories mainly: impulse turbine and the reaction turbine. Impulse turbine means the type of turbine in which the pressure drop taken place only in nozzle and the available energy of steam at the inlet of blade is pure kinetic energy. Okay. Now reaction turbine, this means the type of turbine in which the energy available at the inlet of moving blade is not only kinetic energy but it is kinetic as well as pressure energy. Okay, then this type of turbines are known as reaction turbine. Again one time for you, reaction turbine means the type of turbine in which the energy available at the inlet of moving blade is pure kinetic plus pressure energy. It is not only kinetic energy but kinetic as well as pressure energy. Then this type of turbine are known as reaction turbine. And reaction turbine is mostly suitable turbine for the current scenario, because in majority of power plant people are using reaction turbine because of its compactness. Okay, but one another disadvantage of reaction turbine is that the manufacturing is quite difficult. Okay, so let's begin with the velocity triangle of reaction turbine. Consider we have nozzle here from and one blade here that is moving with the velocity CBL. From the nozzle, the steam is coming out with velocity C1 meter per second. Here the steam is coming out and directed toward the blade. Okay. As the steam passes over the blade, steam suffers the change of direction. And because of the change of direction, the momentum of steam is getting changed. And as per the Newton's second law, force is proportional to the rate of change of momentum. So whenever steam is getting passed over the blade surface, steam will exert a force on the blade. That's why blade will try to move with certain velocity, and that velocity is CBL in this case. Okay. Now to analyze the reaction turbine, or I mean to say to analyze the performance of reaction turbine, we need to plot velocity triangle, because in impulse turbine we have seen that the velocity triangle is one of the important tools. Similar way, to analyze the reaction turbine, velocity triangle is quite important tool. So let's begin with the velocity triangle. Here you can see we have two vector with us. One that is correspond to the blade speed, that is CBL, and one correspond to the steam, that is C1. So we need to plot two vector first. One represent the velocity of blade, one another represent the velocity of steam. So let's plot these two vector. Here we have one vector which represents the velocity of blade, that is CBL, and here we have another vector that represents the velocity of steam. Now in vector mathematics we have studied that if we have two vector like this, then you can say resultant vector is like this. I mean to say it is the vector which connect the both vector, that are CBL and C1 in this case, and this vector is named CR1. Here in actual sense, CR1 represents the relative velocity of steam whenever steam is getting in contact with the blade surface. because when steam reach near to the blade, at that time blade has its own velocity and steam has its own velocity. So the effective velocity is what you can say relative velocity, or for simplicity you can say it is a resultant velocity. Clear? Now as the steam flow over the blade, it will flow vertically in downward direction with some sort of turbulency that is propagating in horizontal plane. So the vertical component of C1 is called flow component, while the horizontal component is known as whirl component. Okay, vertical component is known as flow component and horizontal component is known as whirl component. Okay, so here the horizontal component is CW1. CW1 stands for the whirl component. Okay, and vertical component CF1. CF1 stands for the flow component because flow is proceeding in downward direction. Okay, clear? That is all about the inlet triangle. Now we need to add some of the angle in inlet triangle. Here you notice one thing, C1 is making certain angle with horizontal line as well as CR1. So whatever the angle that is made by C1 with horizontal line is known as nozzle angle, and which is represented by alpha. Okay, because whatever the angle that is formed by the nozzle, it must be followed by the steam whenever steam is getting passed through the nozzle. Simple. Okay, now whatever angle that is made by CR1 with horizontal line is known as blade angle at inlet. Blade angle at inlet, that is theta in our designation system. Okay, because whenever the steam is getting passed over the blade surface, steam will strictly follow the blade counter cell. Okay, so whatever the blade at whatever the angle of blade at inlet, it must be followed by the CR1. Okay, clear? Now outlet triangle. To discuss the outlet triangle, here you need to consider one vector, that is CBL, because blade is moving with horizontal axis. Okay, in horizontal plane I mean to say. So here we have vector CBL. Okay, because blade is moving in horizontal plane with certain velocity, that's why we need to plot one vector which represents the velocity of blade, and that is CBL in our case. Now as the steam passing over the surface of blade, steam will leave with certain velocity, and that velocity, let's say, is CO. So now steam is leaving in this direction as per the schematic. Now here you can say the resultant vector is like this in our outlet triangle, that is CRO. Okay, now the vertical component of CO is known as flow component, that is CFO, and horizontal component is known as whirl component, that is CWO. So here we have two vector with us. Now the angle made by the relative velocity at outlet, it must be equal to the blade angle at outlets. Okay, so here we have outlet blade angle is equal to be phi, and the angle that is made by the velocity CO is beta. Okay, the angle made by CO is beta with respect to horizontal plane. We can say beta is the leaving angle of steam. Okay, so here we have inlet triangle as well as outlet triangle, which is quite similar to the impulse turbine. But what is the main difference between those two triangles? I mean to say triangle of impulse turbine and triangle of the reaction turbine. You can say in a reaction turbine, as we know, whenever the steam is passing over the moving blade, at that time at the inlet of moving blade, steam has a pressure energy as well as kinetic energy. Okay, and as the steam passes over the moving blade, the pressure energy is gradually converting into the kinetic energy. Okay, so whenever we are dealing with the reaction turbine, okay, the relative velocity at outlet, that is CRO, is always greater than the relative velocity at inlet, that is CR1. Okay, while in case of impulse turbine, the magnitude of relative velocity at inlet and outlet is almost similar, But in the case of reaction turbine, the magnitude of outlet relative velocity is always greater than the inlet relative velocity. So it is the main difference between impulse and reaction turbine, and generally the reaction turbine will provide much more power compared to the impulse turbine for the given compactness. So it is all about the velocity triangle. In our further session, I am going to plot the combined triangle instead of individual. Okay, here you can see the combined triangle look like this. Okay, we are going to plot the combined triangle, not individual triangle, because in combined triangle we get all the data very quickly compared to the individual triangle whenever we are dealing with the numerical. Okay, so it is all about the velocity triangle of reaction turbine. Keep this triangle in your mind, and in our further lecture I would like to brief you about degree of reaction. Okay, so stay tuned. Thank you.